is Mr. Ishtiyaq Shah. He is consultant security analysis RSA. Mr. Shah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know that it has been a long morning and it's spilled to the afternoon, so I'll make it quick short. A lot of things have been covered, a lot of things have been said and done, so we all know what state we are in. So I just don't want to exaggerate that what is happening, what's not happening, just reminding all of us that we don't forget what has happened in the past and what are the remedial things which we can take care of. So just quickly, just a message which we are trying to give is business-driven security. Since morning there have been a lot of focus on contextualization, prioritization, knowing what we have, what to protect, how to protect. So that I think Sir's presentation was also in the same context. We need to prioritize the assets based on that. A lot of things I gone through the presentation, seeing the screen, so a lot of words were there. Now, we need to step back and rethink what we are doing, what we have been doing, especially in the context of the public sector, especially the critical infrastructure of Government of India and like defending the country. All the agencies need to rethink this and re-strategize what exactly are we going to do with the kind of attack surface which is getting sophisticated day by day. If we see just back one quote from 2014, the FBI director gave one classic quote which is like an kind of an acronym in the industry, security industry right now. If you see, it was saying that there are two kinds of big companies in the United States, those who have been hacked by the Chinese and those who do not know they have been hacked by the Chinese. So there are only two versions to it. There's no middle path, no gray area. So that means all of us are attacked. Some of us know, some of us don't know. Now, having said that, there was a group which has done the survey on the attackers that's still investing so much of money on the protection technologies, detection technologies, all of those perimeter securities. Spending is already there. We are spending a lot of money on these technologies, tools, point tools, but still we are getting like hacked or breached or compromised either on the like perimeter side or insider threats. A lot of things are there. Now if we come to the point why we are this traditional security, what we have today as a steady state security of our infrastructure which we are managing, why it's not working. Now 70% of this survey CIOs, they have said that they were compromised in the last year. 90% are unsatisfied with the response speed with which they had mitigated those attacks or done some response to that. And 80% of CISOs are rethinking their strategy in investments and redesigning their entire solution portfolio. So that is going to happen and they are acting on it quickly. Having said that, I'll just take quickly, there are two ways of doing things. One of the aspects of our management is a business ideology of, okay, I am running an institution, I have a vision, I have a goal to achieve the objective of that organization. That's my business requirement, whether it's a PSU or whether it's a corporate objective. Now, as an IT security or an IT function within that organization, what we do is we implement network technologies, security technologies, all the ICT components. So there is a huge gap between the objective and the return on investments. I am investing certain amount of money on certain technologies. Is it giving me out of that any investment proof? Am I getting any like foolproof security? Do I have a mitigation of attacks? Do I get anything from those kind of investments? You can see account lockouts are happening. We have a privilege identity management solutions for that. So all of those solutions, there is a gap between the business teams and the actual implementation teams, that's IT teams. This gap is evident whether we accept or not. So there is a gap and we call it as a gap of grief. So there is a grief between that. I am not able to connect with my business objective of the organization, any organization for that matter. It's country level, state level or whatever levels, expectations are not getting met. Now, where is the most, what these two stacks are doing? Two teams, the business team actually is focusing on the business risk. How much business risk I have, I want to mitigate that risk, bring down that risk so that my the customers whom I am serving, whether it's a public sector company or the corporate sector, am I giving enough security to my customers? Am I bringing down the entire risk down? So the security technologies are focusing on still those silo point products, getting the firewall in place, getting these perimeter securities in place, which are good in their own sequence. Like we invest network security, we invest in other point products. They still have got their own functionalities, which they do. They are not meant to do some things which we are trying to achieve from them. Now, what is that area where I want to do this? Why this gap exists? So if you see that there are various security exclusions, like we have got solutions in terms of firewalls, IPS, IDSs. There are external solutions which forensic solutions we are talking about. All of these talk about individual things, what we do, what we not do. Now, do we have something which will say that I need to have a connectivity between all these disconnected silos? Can I have one common meeting place wherein I can ask one person that, can you give me the context of where I stand on compliance, where I stand on risk, where I stand on the overall business and IT operational risk? Do I have any risks? How we are going to mitigate them? What is the impact of those risks? Have we done any assessments? We don't have a visibility into those from the low level to high level, or we can say top down or bottoms up. So that is where we need to rethink the strategy. We have to come back from the bottoms up and top down, see where are the loopholes. If we just move to the next and see that this security is a business problem. Let's start thinking about that. If we don't think that security is a business problem, we'll end up again investing and not getting any ROIs out of that. So invest in business. Find what's the business I'm doing, what is that I'm serving to my customers, from any point of view, and the persons who are managing those particular risks, they need to understand the business requirements. So that gap of grief has to be closed or narrowed down. Once that is done, then we can move into, like you can see, attacks are more sophisticated these days. You might have heard about a lot of attacks since morning. One of the attacks recently we had got is fileless malware. It's a new kind of attacks coming up, which are getting into our networks. We are not able to identify. There is no technologies available right now to identify those kind of scenarios. There are sandbox severe malwares. The attackers are taking advantage of various methodologies. There is not a single silver bullet, as the previous speaker from FireEye was also saying. That we can say that, okay, this is a solution, this works like this way. But is it enough for us? We have been investing on protection technologies, right from endpoint to our perimeters, and saying that, okay, we can close down everything. Is that working? But if you see from the diversity of the the market, going from the cloud to the on-premises, the boundary is now gone almost. So you don't know where that application is hosted right now, but you have accessibility to that application on the go. Now, having said that, how do you secure your data, which is more important, and it has got a value attached to it? It is a confidential data for you for running your business, and it is something from the government sector, we can say from the PSU point of view, it is a public information which needs highest level of secrecy. So that secrecy and privacy concepts, we need to think about that. How do we go into the privacy debate? Are we going to end up saying that everything is open for us? Anyone can come and seek any information wherever it's from. Now, when this sophistication has got more complex, your complexity of your network or resilience of that network or mitigating the attacks has also gone into complexities. Now, those complexities need to be targeted. We need to have some ROI against that, because we lack ROI right now. So any kind of solution you talk about right now, you talk to any vendor, the first thing in any of the board meetings, you get to hear about, can you just give me an ROI of what exactly I will get out of this investment? And what is the timeline for that? The attacks are changing in such a way that you cannot at least think about that right now. We are sitting here, how many sites might have got defaced, how many attacks might have occurred, how many ransomware attacks would have occurred. So all of this is happening at a random pace, which we need to take care of that. So all of us know there are three main ideas about what the motives behind the cyber threats: political, ideological, and criminal. The rest of the things have been covered by previous ones. I'll just move forward. So just to remind, the thing about these kind of organizations in last 1 or 2 years, they all got breached. They got breached, they notified those breaches. We are all aware of, they were in all over the news, or whatever newspapers or news items you read, RSS feeds, you will read about them, what they have done. They are top 500 Fortune 500 companies. They invest heavily on security infrastructure. Still they got breached, and they got heavily breached. If they have got breached, can we say that we are safe? So we had first save ourselves. These are just the names. So if I say that what we do right now, just to give an example of what we are doing right now, we think as a log-centric approach. We have got solutions around SIEM technologies. I'll just briefly touch what solutions we have. It's just one slide of that. We take logs from all the elements, that whether it's a perimeter security, whether it's an application portfolio of, or all the applications, or mid-tier, or the middleware, whatever the logs are. We take those logs, we get those logs inside, and then we try to find out any anomalies on those logs. But what does it log give? As an application owners or application developers, as a technical term can say, it is a human defined intelligence about an event of an application or a device. It can be modified, it can be stopped. It doesn't guarantee you that it will give you the root cause analysis or the actual information of what happened. It just gives an information, an event happened. Can we do a forensic analysis on logs? Most of us will agree no. It just gives an indication of certain thing has happened. An event has happened. It can be that I coming into this room, it's an event. I came here, I'm standing here is an event. But what I'm doing here, what I'm delivering here, that what and why and how, that is where the problem is. We are not investing in those things. We talk about the balance of budgets amongst the protection or the preventive measures and the monitoring measures. If you see the Gartner's recent surveys and all those things, they are also shifting. The global focus of CIOs and CISOs has shifted from the preventive to monitoring technology, so they are balancing it. So one of the good slides I found in Sir's presentation was, I think he skipped that. It was about people, process, and technology. A lot of things have been said. Unless and until we have skill sets available, we will not be able to do anything. You invest on any tool, you need to have balance between all the three elements, that's people, process, and technology. So if you balance in installments, all these three elements, you will get the desired results and ROI. Having only one view from logs point of view will not help you. What are the new requirements? The strategic business requirements. Business people say, am I secured? No, yes, give me the answer. Do you have a risk assessments done? What are the critical assets? All those things. Then, what are the security operation teams? Where they aren't impactful? I'm investing on my SOC, NOC, all those elements. Why I'm not impactful? These are the new requirements. I want ROI out of that. I'm investing on people 24/7. Why don't I get results out of that? It's not just for the sake of employment I have put people over there. Can you give me some insight about what is happening? Then, can the security teams deliver an assurance that whatever we are delivering is contributing to the security of the organization? Have those parameters around it. These are the new requirements of the market, or we can say new requirements of the scenario in which we are going on right now, and these are the future requirements which are coming up. We will be asked as a collective fraternity that what you have done in getting yourself up to the pace to face all these challenges and requirements. Now, the solution which RSA says is that we said business-driven security. What does it mean? That we collect all these information from your endpoints, all those infrastructure devices, and we put it at one place. We do the analytics on top of it. We add the contextualization, that is it a prioritization asset? Should my L1, L2, L3 work on this right now? Should it go to the board level for information that there is a breach? All those things is called a business context. So business is driving the security, not in silos. So the architecture is that we have a centralized analytics piece. As I said, we club the business side and we club the IT side of it. Both of these will get together into one place. We have collections framework that it collects all the data at one place. Then it moves into giving you the visibility into all the elements of data which are getting generated about events, about happenings, attacks, or fusing the threat intelligence, and it's called Net Witness Suite. Then it puts you, and as a business context, we have got the identity risks, which is a primary risk which we don't focus on right now. Those identity risks are fused to it. So I have common framework wherein I can collect all these elements, and all these elements I can put together into one framework, and I can run this business context on top of it, and I can get some meaningful information by a platform called RSA Cyber Analytics platform, which is ready for high performance data munching, giving you all the data elements, giving you visibility, giving you the analytical platform and an actionable intelligence to work on, prioritize things quickly. I'll just put one more thing over here. So once we have all this thing, have we ever thought of how do we govern ourselves, all these elements? The GRC framework that sits on top of the entire thing. This is a whole suite of product, we can say tools and technology, and it's a framework which will give you visibility right from getting the event at a technical control to the top level governance, where you have the risk framework and all those elements. As I said, the log NF is not enough for you. We have to have packet visibility on the wire, what is happening. We have never been into that. What's happening on the lateral movement side, these are the attack scenarios. Attackers use all these things to get into your network, but we never focus on the endpoints, what actually happens on the endpoint. So all the element visibility is a theme for our this, we can say, framework, wherein we can say that we give you visibility into all the elements. So people who are looking or monitoring your infrastructure, your SOCs or NOCs or the security teams, they have the visibility into everything. Who came in, who went out, what was exfiltrated, was I under attack, how much time I was under attack, do I have a forensic data? Yes. Can I do the post facto forensics? Yes. Can I provide these data to my management? Yes, I have. I can do the root cause analysis end to end with this framework. So these are the areas of cybersecurity experience which RSA has. Like RSA, you can go to RSA site and search. We have RSA Labs, we have RSA advanced cybersecurity teams which work for continuously in improving the cyber threat intelligence teams we have based out of US and Israel, which keep on doing all these threat intelligence feeds from third parties, checking what threats are in the market, releasing those to customers, informing customers about new threats coming up, securing customers with latest information about all those things. We have education divisions, we have a lot of content around the incident management, response procedures, how do you do the risk management, how do you manage your compliance, how do you do your operational risks. So we have categorically 4 major categories which cater to all the organizations these days, which is an identity risk, the fraud risk management, the threat detection and response, and we have governance, risk and compliance. All the 4 elements covered for the entire security people to bridge the gap between technical and the teams which are the business team. That's about our solution. I will just walk through these slides just to remind you that what happened in India last year. Like, we are aware of the first attack, on the top left side corner, the PSU banks got attacked, the ATM attack. We got 3 major banks covered under this. You might have heard about the news. Today's news also, there is some reckoning. One of the vendors was, ATM vendors was involved in this, like that was breached. It was a third party breach basically. So we, like vendor management was not done properly, there were no controls in place. So that breach was in millions, it was captured. Like, then we have Bangladesh Bank last year, then we have got debit card hacks. All of us might have been called by the banks to replace your cards. I think most of us got information that you have to change your ATM debit cards, and everyone, especially all the banks, large banks in India, they have done that. And there was a famous attack on recently the Legion attack, of the anonymous attack. This is one important news going on right now in the market, ransomware. people are talking about this, and definitely PSU and the government sector is getting impacted with this. There are cases around that, and you might also be hearing a lot of things about this right now, buzz in the market. Ransomware is the newest form of attack where the impact is really heavy and there is an extortion attached to it. I will not go into details. Just this slide, if you can just go through it. What are the basic hygiene things which we can do against the ransomware? At least from our organization point of view, at least have some system and network hygiene in place. Go through those access control lists in your firewalls, talk to your teams, go the configuration reviews, watch network shares, don't share anything unnecessarily. All those things are very important. And then IoT, that Internet of Things people are talking about. We are going into smart cities, so you might be facing this challenge in India very soon. A lot of things getting into security cameras, from the sensors, from the pollution sensors, all those things are coming into market. They are being deployed and we might get impacted by all these things. So what are the action points about these IoTs? We have not faced much in India right now, but these are global trends right now coming up. The IoTs have been hacked already, and they are being, last year there was a biggest, in October 21st, the biggest attack with the DDoS attack that happened using the IoT devices. And this is one thing I think you guys might be interested in. Industrial control systems. So I don't know whether any industry guys are here who are using the SCADA networks or PLC kind of networks. So Ukraine power grid was shut down using this sophisticated attack on the SCADA. And I will go to the next slide and show you, this is the attack. When attack was analyzed, these are the elements. There were 3 utilities attacked in the Ukraine. 3.5 hours, there was complete power outage of those 3 networks. There were, the rest of the things were there, what actually happened, how many devices got impacted, how many substations got impacted. This is going to be the next area where Government of India is also focusing. We are aware of that. There are a lot of things going into the SCADA and the PLC networks right now. This is the heavy impacted sector. If it impacts our lives directly, rather than the financial sector where only the finance is impacted. We have some insurance covers and all those things, but this is an untapped territory which we don't know what will happen next. I just wanted to have that. So this is my last slide. I'll take this. Don't forget, our own and National Informatics Center got hacked toward 2013. There was, the motives was that they were trying to do the DDoS kind of things and bring down the services, and it was being published live on Twitter at that time. So I was part of that remediation team at that time. We were facing it daily basis. We were not able to do anything. The tools were not there. We were not able to respond. We were not having visibility into that at that time. What is happening? Daily they were saying that tomorrow 12 o'clock we'll bring down this site. People might be aware who have gone through that time. And it was going down, site was going down. So anonymous, all those things which are hacktivists, they are after us. The last slide is this news. 2 days back, Government of India has started some initiatives. We have, the Government of India launched along with Certain free antivirus software. So do get in touch with Certain for all your incidents related to malwares and all those things. They might be of help to you. They call us Botnet Cleaning and Malware Analysis Center. But the counter news is that there was the Legion tweet has come out that we are going to publish sansad.nic.in's entire dump on websites. So it's a counterattack going on, so we have to be on our toes. This NCRB site, you also go through that for your stats sake. They show the statistics about what kind of crimes we are managing across this portfolio. So with this, I will just complete my presentation. I just moved on certain slides. We have partnership with NACIS. We do a collaboration in terms of implementation and going towards customers. And we have valued partnerships for implementation and providing the security services to esteemed customers. So in case of any queries and questions, I'm outside, so my colleagues are outside, so just do feel free to contact us. We can share this presentation with you guys. If you want more information about our products or about our solutions, how we do it, what are the best practices and all those things, we are happy to help you out. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Shah, for really going in depth about the present IT challenges and what RSA is doing in India and across the globe as far as these present challenges on IT and countering those threats are concerned. Thanks a lot for this beautiful